I was standing there on the playground watching them finish drawing this huge magic array in the middle. It was Lord's Day. Every 18-year-old in the world was doing the same thing right then, getting ready to enter the eternal world and become a novice lord. I kept thinking, where's the cheat I was supposed to get after being reborn? 18 years in this world as an orphan with memories from my last life, and nothing special had shown up. No secret admirers, no surprise family members, nothing. Just me. My homeroom teacher, Tang Lanlin, clapped her hands and gave us the final talk. She said we had to survive the first 30 days, no matter what. That was the most important time to build up our territory and troops. Even if we ended up as a weak vegetable farmer lord, it was still better than staying an ordinary person. She told us not to be greedy or impulsive, to act within our limits. Troops give you power, but territory is your real foundation. We all answered that we understood. Then they started sending groups through the array. When it was my class's turn, I stepped onto it. The light came up, and I was gone. Next thing I knew, I was standing on a patch of grassland. The system messages started coming in. It welcomed me to the eternal world and said auxiliary functions were activating. The interface loaded. Trading was locked for 30 days. Chat was loading. Stuff like that. Then it said my talent had awakened. Supreme Sovereign, unique grade. And I got a novice gift bag in my item space. I checked my starting area first. It was grassland. Not bad. Could have been swamp or desert, so I felt okay about the luck there. Novice territories are random, and some people get forests or mineral veins, but this was fine. I looked at my talent next. It had a trait called Echo of Strong Luck. When I upgrade my Lord's Heart, the bound trait is guaranteed to be gold grade or higher. That was really strong. I knew right away how big a deal this was for my future development. I opened the novice gift bag. I got 1 Lord's Heart, a random barracks gift box, and 100 starting gold. I bound the Lord's Heart right away. It merged into me and left a mark on my wrist that faded. Then it asked if I wanted to choose an initial trait. Because of my talent, 3 options appeared, 2 gold and 1 red. The first gold was Hymn of Life. It gives your troops 100% health regen, 100% stamina regen, 100% mana regen, and 1 death immunity per day. The second gold was Gift of the Outer God. It makes your troops go through mutated evolutions, but they fall into chaos, hear whispers, and head toward madness. That one seemed dangerous, so I passed on it. I took a deep breath and looked at the last one, the red trait, Super Divine Evolution. It was a barracks trait. My barracks could get a god tier evolution, and my troops' loyalty would be fixed at 100%. They'd be absolutely loyal no matter what. That was the biggest problem for new lords, troop loyalty. Troops are living beings with their own thoughts. If you treat them badly, they can mutiny and even kill you. It happens every year. Some troops also have special needs to keep their loyalty up. It's a lot of trouble. I compared the 3 options. The 2 gold ones were strong, but this red one was on another level. I decided right away. Bind Super Divine Evolution. The system said the trait was bound. I checked my Lord's Heart panel. It was Black Iron 1-star with Super Divine Evolution as the trait. To upgrade it, I'd need 100 Origin Crystals. This was the best start I could imagine. Being a lord is basically the path to becoming a god, to real immortality. With this, I finally had a real shot. I took out the random barracks gift box and opened it. I got a rank 3 barracks, Profane Cathedral. It could recruit rank 3 Chaos faction troops that focused on dark magic and bloody rituals. I upgraded it immediately. The model lit up with black and blood red light, and when it finished, it had evolved into a god tier barracks called Fallen Heaven Sanctuary. It was level 1, god tier, Chaos faction. I could recruit 10 units a day. The cost was listed as 1 million gold, but because it was the novice period, it only cost me 1 gold per unit for the first 30 days. I placed the barracks next to my lord's mansion, which was just a small wooden cabin. Then I went inside the sanctuary and recruited 10 units. 10 gold coins were deducted. Black and red light gathered in front of the big statue. 9 figures appeared first. Then a 7-colored pillar of light came down, and the 10th one appeared inside it. The other 9 knelt down right away. Before I could react, one of them stepped forward and pulled me into a tight hug from behind. She smelled really nice. She asked in a soft, charming voice, "Are you my divine emperor?" The other 9 said together, "We pay respects to the divine emperor." They all had black-purple wings and looked perfect. Beautiful faces, great figures. I told them to rise. The one hugging me said her name was Lilith. She kept holding me close and told me I was adorable, squeezing me even tighter. The other 9 watched her with fear in their eyes while looking at me with strong devotion. I pulled myself out of Lilith's hug. It was soft and smelled nice, but it was a bit too much. Lilith looked at me with a sad face and asked if I disliked her. She was really tall. I'm 185 centimeters, and I only came up to her chest. She had a perfect figure, long legs, dark purple wings, and wore a long black dress. She crouched down in front of me, looked up with big watery eyes, and said if I wanted, she was willing. I cleared my throat and told her we could talk about that later. First, I wanted to check her attributes. She leaned against me and whispered that I should examine her thoroughly. I looked at her panel. Her name was Lilith. Loyalty 100, constant. She was a hero unit, 7 sins fallen heaven. Lilith. She had a talent called the 7 deadly sins, a skill called Flames of Original Sin, and her own divine artifact, the 7 sins war scythe. Her potential was listed as source. That was way higher than anything I knew. Normal troops go up to God rank, but hers was something else. I checked the other 9 too. They were original sin-fallen angels, normal units, but each had one of the 7 sins as their talent. Their potential was High Celestial God, which I figured was above God rank. There were 2 pride, 2 lust, and 1 of each of the others. I told Lilith we'd talk about the other stuff later. She agreed, but then turned cold and warned the other 9 to serve me well, or she would punish them. They all looked scared and said yes. I told Lilith not to be so hard on them and that we should head out. She immediately smiled again and picked me up in her arms like a princess Carrie before I could say anything. I told her not to do that next time. She said she understood, but she looked really happy while carrying me. My starting lord's mansion was just a rundown wooden cabin, like all beginners get. Right now, my whole territory was just a 1-kilometer circle with almost nothing in it. I had the mansion and the Fallen Heaven Sanctuary, and that was basically it. I had 30 days. I decided my main goal was to upgrade the barracks as fast as possible. The territory itself could wait. Upgrading the barracks lets me recruit more troops. Upgrading the Lord's Heart gives me new traits, which is more important for me because of Echo of Strong Luck. Territory upgrades mostly just make the area bigger. So the plan was, upgrade the barracks first, then the Lord's Heart, then the territory. I opened my territory panel. It was level 1, only 1,000 meters across, with just a broken down cabin and the barracks. No warehouse stock. To upgrade it, I needed wood, stone, and some origin crystals. I named the territory Supreme Heaven. Then I checked my own panel. I was Black Iron 1-star. My talent was Supreme Sovereign, Unique Grade. I had 90 gold in my personal space. I had 2 Lord Authorities, Dominion and Decomposition. The system sent a message asking if I wanted to start the Void Trial. I looked at Lilith and the others and asked if they were ready for battle. Lilith said they were prepared. I told the system to start the Void Trial. It asked me to pick a difficulty: normal, hard, nightmare, purgatory, or abyss. I chose abyss. Higher difficulty gives more resources, and I needed to build up fast during these 30 days. The sky turned red and the trial started. 30 seconds later, a bunch of abyss imps began appearing from all directions. They were tier 3, Black Iron 5-star to 8-star. Pretty strong for day 1. Lilith and the 9 others got ready. Lilith summoned her big scythe. The others brought out their weapons too. Then they went to work. Lilith swung her scythe and sent out black flames that cut through the imps like they were nothing. The others did the same. They didn't even need skills, just their basic strength and weapons were enough. The imps got slaughtered and turned into energy that the troops absorbed to level up. I sat down on the ground and opened the system interface. On one side, they were fighting nonstop. On the other side, I was just sitting there calmly. Abyss difficulty runs for a full hour straight. Most people only try it near the end of the 30 days after they've built up more. I was doing it on the very first day. I figured with God-tier troops it was worth pushing hard right away. I opened the system panel. Trading was locked, but chat and livestream worked fine. I checked the chat channel. Most people were talking about what troops or talents they got. Some guy was happy he got tier 7 wyverns. Others told him he probably couldn't afford to feed them. A few complained they only got farmland and peasant troops. I closed the chat after a while and opened the livestream section. I clicked on the most popular room. It was a German girl streaming with goblin troops. The content was adult stuff. I watched for a bit, then closed it. I didn't have extra gold to waste on that right now. 1 gold for me meant 1 god-tier troop. I turned back to the fight. Lilith and the others kept clearing the imps. Treasure chests started dropping on the ground as they killed them. After a full hour, the trial ended. The system gave me an SSS rating. No losses, 1,000 kills. I got an SSS grade Abyss difficulty treasure chest. Lilith came over and called me Lord God Emperor. She asked how I was going to reward her. I told her we'd talk about that later and first collected all the loot. I used my Lord Authority to pull the chests into the warehouse. There were 400 Black Iron Abyss chests. Then I used Decomposition on the 1,000 imp corpses and got 100 origin crystals. I opened all 400 chests. In total, I got 20,000 gold coins and 2,000 origin crystals. No wood, no stone, no basic resource cards. I realized that because I chose Abyss difficulty on the first day, the rewards skipped the common stuff and only gave high-value items. My territory is grassland, so I don't have any natural sources of wood or stone. I'll probably need to buy them from other people later. There was still the final SSS chest left from the rating. That one could drop better things. I opened the SSS rank Abyss difficulty rating treasure chest. The system gave me 10 advanced meat resource cards, 1,000 origin crystals, 10,000 gold coins, a high-grade wonder building called the Innate Spiritual Source Lake, and a unique wonder building called the Chaos Spring. Each advanced meat resource card holds 1,000 tons of high-grade meat. That matters because a big troop legion needs a lot of food every day, and this kind of meat is useful even for high-tier lords. The crystals and coins are straightforward. I can always use more of them. The 2 wonder buildings were the important part. Wonders are basically the foundation for any lord. Most people are lucky to get even one low-grade one in their whole life. I checked the innate spiritual source lake first. It's high-grade, adjustable size, and it constantly produces spirit source that never runs out. The main thing is that troops can soak in it to get stronger. That solves the biggest problem with new troops. They all start at Black Iron 1-star and need resources to level up. With this lake, I won't have to worry about that as much, at least for a while. Then I looked at the Chaos Spring. It's unique grade and has 6 traits. It never runs dry, its water heals any injury or curse, it gives plants and animals in my territory a chance to evolve, it prevents natural disasters, it reduces all elemental damage to my troops by 99% while they're inside the territory, and it can devour other wonders to create new traits. I placed both buildings in my territory. The lake appeared, and the spring formed next to my lord's mansion. I made the spring water flow into the lake. Lilith asked if she and the others could swim in it. I told her yes, because it would help raise their levels. They went to bathe after the fighting. Lilith stayed with me. She asked if I was going to reward her. I said we could talk about that later that night. I took her to the Fallen Heaven Sanctuary. I had enough origin crystals now, so I upgraded the barracks. It cost 100 crystals and reached level 2. I checked the new attributes of the Fallen Heaven Sanctuary after the upgrade. It was still level 2. The daily recruitment limit went up to 20 units, and each batch of 1,000 units cost 1 gold coin. To upgrade it to level 3, it needed 1,000 origin crystals, 10,000 gold coins, and some special material called Seed of Darkness. I thought about it. 20 units a day isn't a lot when big battles use hundreds of thousands, but there wasn't much I could do about it right then. Higher rank troops always recruit slower. I figured I could work with 20 for now. I walked into the sanctuary with Lilith behind me and started a new recruitment. It used 10 gold coins and brought in 10 more original Sin-Fallen angels. They all knelt and greeted me with strong loyalty. I told Lilith to take them and introduce them to the rest of the group. She did, and they left together. After that, I sat down and upgraded my lord's heart. It cost 100 origin crystals and reached Black Iron 2-star. A warm feeling spread through my body. My physical strength improved, and I gained spiritual energy inside me. That meant I had officially entered the Lord sequence. Then the system let me pick a new trait. There were 3 options, 2 red ones and 1 gold. The first red trait, Supreme Order, would make all my troops follow the Order faction completely. It would double their strength, raise their potential limit by 2 levels, and lock loyalty at 100%. The second red trait, Supreme Chaos, did the same thing but for the Chaos faction. The gold trait, Crystal Palace, changed things so my barracks could only recruit female troops. It would increase their strength by 100% and raise their potential limit by 1 level. I thought about the choices. The 2 red traits were strong, but they would lock me into one faction. I didn't want that kind of restriction because I wanted the freedom to use troops from any faction. The gold trait had a gender restriction, but it matched what I preferred anyway. All my troops being female wasn't a problem for me, so I chose the Crystal Palace trait. I bound the Crystal Palace trait. Lilith noticed right away from the lake and said the troops' potential had increased. She kept watching the others swim. I still had 2,900 origin crystals left. I thought about upgrading my Lord's Heart again, but decided not to. The higher my level, the harder the Void Trial gets. Lilith and the others were only Black Iron 3-star, and rank suppression is strong. Black Iron troops deal way less damage to bronze. With only 20 troops total, it was smarter to develop slowly. 1 level a day was already faster than most novice lords. I checked the chat channel. People were mostly saying to pick normal difficulty and take it easy. Some were arguing or joking around. I posted a few times as Otherworld Traveler, saying I was buying Seed of Darkness and to PM me if anyone had one. Private trades between novices are still possible. Merchant lords should appear soon, by the 3rd day at latest. Once they do, it'll be much easier to get what I need. I bound the Crystal Palace trait to my Lord's Heart. A bit later, some guy named Yeshu saw my message in the chat channel where I was buying Seed of Darkness. He was a regressor who got reborn with memories from his previous life. In that last life, he remembered that I started buying the seeds on the first day too, and that I later became the top novice lord of this batch by selling technology sidearms starting around day 20. He smiled and made plans to take the High True God inheritance that I got during the novice period this time, and maybe even make me his subordinate lord so he could have steady resources. He felt confident because he had 10th tier Dragonslayer troops and a king grade talent called Kingship. I sneezed suddenly. Lilith, who was nearby, asked if I caught a cold and offered to come warm me up. I told her no need and to roast some meat instead because I was hungry. She looked a bit unhappy but went to do it. Night came. For most lords it was probably a busy day, but for me it was pretty boring with not much to do. I looked through private messages. A lot of them were just links to live streams. I watched some to pass the time. When it got late, Lilith came to me and said it was time to rest and that she wanted her reward. We spent the night together. I didn't sleep well. Early the next morning, my back and waist were sore. I stood up and told Lilith it was the second day. She helped me get dressed. Then I went to the Fallen Heaven Sanctuary and started the daily recruitment. It cost 20 gold coins and brought out 20 new original Sin Fallen Angels. They all knelt and greeted me with strong loyalty. I told them to rise and left them with Lilith to join the others. She took them out of the hall. I was still feeling sore, so I went to the Chaos Spring. I scooped up some water and drank it. It tasted sweet, and right away my waist felt better and my energy came back. I drank a few more sips and felt completely recovered. I noted that the spring could heal injuries and even had this kind of effect. After that, I checked my private messages. Someone called Little Merchant sent me a friend request with the note, Merchant Lord. I thought about it and accepted the request. I figured this could make things easier since Merchant Lords usually show up around the third day, but this one appeared faster. I got a message from Little Merchant. She was a little lowly who had been annoyed by other novice lords. A lot of them were sending stupid requests, asking to borrow stuff for free, or saying things like, "My father is Zhang Erhe." She thought they were all idiots trying to get things without paying, and that they treated her like a charity. Then she saw my friend request. She got excited because she figured I was probably a powerful lord. She messaged me asking what I needed: wood, stone, gold coins, origin crystals, anything. I replied and asked if she had a Seed of Darkness or any barracks. She got even more excited and said she would start looking right away. She mentioned the price, and I told her not to worry, I wouldn't let her lose out. I said the faster the better, I only needed 1 Seed of Darkness, and for barracks any faction and any rank was fine. She said she understood, that barracks might be hard, but she should be able to find a Seed of Darkness today, and to wait for her news. I replied, good, and closed the chat. She started contacting her friends and spreading the word to find what I needed. That kind of wide network is what merchant lords are good at. If I just kept spamming the public chat myself, it would be pure luck. I looked at her name in my friend list and wondered which big chamber of commerce she came from. Merchant lords usually bring real-world connections with them, but I decided it didn't matter to me. I called out to Lilith. She appeared right away. I told her to gather all the original Sin-Fallen Angels because the Void Trial was starting soon, and to prepare for battle. She flew up high, spread her wings, and called everyone. All 40 of them assembled in the sky. I told the system to start the Void Trial and chose Abyss difficulty. The system said it would begin in 30 seconds. Dark red light appeared at the edge of my territory. Then tall Abyss dretches started coming in. Roaring. They were rank 4, Black Iron 9-star. I checked their info. They were basically low-level cannon fodder in the Abyss. I was glad I hadn't leveled up my Lord's Heart again. Otherwise, I might have faced bronze rank monsters today. Lilith was at Black Iron 4-star thanks to the lake, but the new troops were only Black Iron 1-star. Losing even one unit would be a big loss since all of them have main god growth potential. Lilith smiled coldly up in the sky, summoned her war scythe, and crashed straight into the swarm. The others followed. They turned the fight into a total massacre. Even the newly recruited ones crushed the monsters easily. I watched and felt relieved. As expected, original Sin-Fallen Angels were overwhelming at the same level. Lilith leveled up fast. She gained 1 star in just 10 minutes. The new ones leveled up even quicker and caught up to the first group. The battle kept going. More and more Abyss dretches came. My territory turned into a bloody slaughterhouse. Corpses piled up like small mountains and blood covered the ground. Treasure chests started floating around, waiting for me to open them. The Void Trial ended after an hour. The system gave me an SSS rating, 0 casualties, 5,000 kills. I received an SSS rank Abyss treasure chest. I looked at the mountain of corpses. Yesterday there were only 1,000 imps, but today 5,000 tier 4 troops, just because I upgraded my Lord's Heart by 1 level. Abyss difficulty multiplies everything. I decomposed the corpses for resources and got 500 origin crystals. Not bad. Lilith flew down with the fallen angels, all covered in blood. I told them to go wash up and rest. After the fight, she reached Black Iron 7-star, and the others leveled up too. I opened the 800 regular chests from the monsters, 40,000 gold and 4,000 crystals. Okay, but nothing special for me. Then I opened the main SSS chest. I got 3 things: Machine Gun Camp Barracks, the exotic Wonder Pool of Wine and Forest of Meat, and the unique Wonder Valhalla. The barracks were basic cannon fodder. I upgraded them right away, turning them into God Rank Supreme Protocol, a huge sci-fi skyscraper that can recruit all technology side troops. Something about the Human Alliance. I placed it next to my Lord's Mansion, with the Fallen Heaven Sanctuary on the other side. Lilith came back with damp hair and asked what it was. I said new troops, her future companions. She clearly wasn't happy. She's Chaos faction, this is Order. Total opposites. The Void Trial part was done. Now came the next bit with Lilith. She belongs to Absolute Chaos, basically a natural evil type. The new Supreme Protocol is absolute order, super righteous in a scary way. If I were any other lord, Lilith probably would have turned on me the second it appeared. But she's completely loyal to me, so even though she didn't like the building, she kept it aimed only at that. I smiled and told her, "Let's go, Lilith. Whether it's you or any troops I get later, I trust all of you completely. I won't force you to be friends, but you can't be enemies either." Lilith stayed quiet for a second, then smiled and said she understood. She even wanted to see what the new troops could do. I took her inside the Supreme Protocol. It looked like a big sci-fi hall with a giant glowing orb floating in the center, full of flowing numbers and code. I upgraded it right away with 100 origin crystals. It went to level 2. Now it could recruit 20 troops a day. I started the daily recruitment. 20 gold coins were deducted, and the orb lit up with bright tech light. When it faded, 20 new troops appeared. Leading them was a white-haired girl in a tight white futuristic suit named Talus. She was a god-grade hero unit, an artificial war god with gene-merging abilities. The rest were gene-forbidden army troops, all women thanks to my Crystal Palace trait. They all knelt and called me Emperor with total fanaticism. I told them to rise. I checked their stats. They could merge genes up to 3 times to evolve, but only with strong creatures. I introduced Talus to Lilith. "This is Lilith. You'll be companions from now on." Talus gave a small nod, face cool and blank. Lilith looked at her with interest. She seemed okay with her, probably because Talus's loyalty comes from me. I asked Lilith to take Talus to meet the other fallen angels and show her around the territory. She agreed with a smile. I watched Lilith leave the hall with Talus and the gene-forbidden army. I thought about what happened. It seemed Talus's absolute order came from my own will. To her, my thoughts were the rules. That's why she acted that way. I felt relieved. In Lilith's eyes, I'm supreme chaos, and in Talus's eyes, I'm absolute order. But there's no conflict because both are loyal to me. That constant loyalty is really good. I walked out and saw Lilith already getting along with Talus and the others near the Spirit Source Lake. Then I checked the 2 wonders I got. First, Pool of Wine and Forest of Meat. It's an exotic treasure that makes unlimited diamond-grade food and drinks, cleans itself, and gives bonuses to loyalty and happiness. I thought about selling the drinks, but decided against it. The big merchant guilds have that market locked down, and they're dangerous. I placed it behind my lord's mansion and turned it into a modern villa. Next was Valhalla, a unique wonder. It gives huge buffs. 100% attribute boost, max morale, loyalty plus 20, faster recovery, immunity to 1 fatal attack, and a daily revive chance. Plus, when troops die, the others get stronger. I placed it right next to the Pool of Wine and Forest of Meat. Now, if anyone revives, they can just go eat next door. With Crystal Palace and Valhalla together, my troops are going to be really strong. I felt ready to upgrade my Lord's Heart. I looked at the Lord's Heart mark on my wrist. With Crystal Palace and Valhalla boosting everything, plus the new God-ranked troops, I decided it was safe to upgrade. I used 200 origin crystals. The Lord's Heart went up to Black Iron 3-star. A warm feeling spread through my body. In 2 days, I'd reached Black Iron 3-star. That was fast. I figured I'd wait and see how hard tomorrow's Void Trial was before upgrading more. I opened the trait selection. 3 golden options appeared. Absolute Loyalty, Destiny Prompt, and Wall of Size. Absolute Loyalty gave troops plus 30 loyalty. I didn't need it since mine were already maxed. Destiny Prompt let me ask 1 question about my own destiny each day. It was useful, but not urgent. Wall of Size made my territory's spatial barrier stronger based on how strong my troops were. That was perfect for future safety. I chose it and bound the trait. Now my Lord's Heart had Super Divine Evolution, Crystal Palace, and Wall of Size. I checked my resources. Over 7,000 origin crystals, 70,000 gold coins, and some meat cards. I had more than enough. Everything was done for the day. I was about to go check the Pool of Wine and Forest of Meat when I got a private message from Little Merchant. He said he found the Seed of Darkness. He offered it for 1,000 origin crystals or 20,000 gold coins. That was a really good price for a rare item. I thought about why the Seed of Darkness was so cheap. It's the newbie period. A lot of lords bite off more than they can chew in the Void Trial, lose their troops, and end up selling stuff cheap just to keep going. Others sell things they can't use to get resources they need instead. Makes sense. I replied to Little Merchant that I only had gold coins. She sent a trade request. I confirmed it and gave her 20,000 gold for the Seed of Darkness. Then I asked her to keep an eye out for a Seed of Technology too. After the trade, I headed to the Fallen Heaven Sanctuary. I used the Seed of Darkness, 1,000 origin crystals, and 10,000 gold to upgrade it. The building changed. A black pillar of light shot up, and the place became even darker, like a black hole swallowing light. Lilith, Talus, and the others showed up behind me to check what was happening. It reached level 3 and gained a halo called Primal Darkness Eternity. Any troops recruited from this building won't die for real. They return to some primordial darkness and get reborn, unless the building itself is destroyed. That's pretty strong. Now Lilith basically has 2 resurrection mechanics. I still had 10 recruitment slots left for the day, so I told Lilith and Talus to follow me inside. No point wasting the quota. I used 10 gold coins for the daily recruitment. The system gave me the prompt, so I went to the fallen angel statue and recruited. Darkness gathered, and 10 new fallen angels appeared. They knelt in front of me and said they paid their respects to the god emperor. I told them to rise. Their leader was Ishtar. She had silver hair and dark red armor. I checked her info right away. She was the first and most ancient fallen angel, pure bloodline, god-level rank, with high potential. The other 9 were also pure-blood fallen angels, orthodox line, different from Lilith's variant original sin ones. They were all loyal at 100. I was satisfied. I told Ishtar she would command the fallen angel lineage from now on. She accepted. I introduced her to Lilith, who commands the original sin fallen angels, and Talus, who commands the gene forbidden army. Ishtar just nodded. Lilith smiled a bit. Talus stayed expressionless like always. After that, we went to the pool of wine and forest of meat. I set up a villa there and brought out a bunch of black iron rank wines and drinks. I told everyone they could eat and drink whatever they wanted, as long as it wasn't above black iron rank. The original sin fallen angels cheered the loudest. We partied for a whole morning. I drank quite a bit. When it was over, I felt a little groggy, so I walked out of the villa and sat by the spirit source lake to clear my head. Talus appeared behind me. I told her there was no danger here and she could go enjoy herself. She said protecting me was her mission and she wasn't leaving. That's just how she is. I leaned back and asked her to give me a massage. She knelt down, put my head on her thighs, and started massaging. While she did that, I asked who she wanted for her gene choice. She said either Lilith or Ishtar would be fine. I asked how she planned to arrange the gene choices for the rest of the gene forbidden army. She said it was up to me. The whole army exists to protect me, so the decision is mine. I told her I'd think about it some more. The breeze felt nice, and I fell asleep again while she kept massaging my head. I woke up that night by the spirit source lake. The campfire was still burning. I stretched and told Talus she had worked hard. She said it was her duty, face completely expressionless like always. I didn't say anything else. That's just how she is. I opened the chat channel and checked my private messages. Most of them were from Brother Pian and Sister Pian, so I blacklisted and deleted all of them at once. Nothing useful. Then I opened my friends list. I only have one friend, Little Merchant. She had sent me messages asking if I was interested in troop refresh recruitment cards. I replied right away. I was here, how much were they, and how many did she have? She answered fast, said she had 5 cards for 1,000 gold coins each. I told her I'd take all of them and to keep looking for more. I also asked her to help me buy Seeds of Darkness, price not an issue. She agreed and sent a trade request. I accepted it and got the 5 cards. These cards are very useful for me. Using them on the Fallen Heaven Sanctuary lets me recruit an extra 150 Fallen Heaven troops. That's why I bought them immediately. On her side, Little Merchant made a good profit. She bought the cards for 500 gold total and sold them to me for 5,000. She thought my troops must be high rank, sanctuary level, or higher, because only then does using refresh cards make the most sense. She also blacklisted a guy called One Leaf Nose Autumn because he tried to buy on credit with some gambling agreement. She called him an idiot and a psychopath. Meanwhile, that guy One Leaf Nose Autumn, his real name is Ye Shu, was confused why she suddenly stopped replying. In his previous life, he knew Little Merchant would become a big merchant and work closely with me, so he wanted to recruit her first and then me, turn us into his subordinate lords. When she blacklisted him, he got angry. He realized he wouldn't be able to trade with the biggest merchant among the novices this time. That's what happened that night. I got the 5 troop refresh recruitment cards and gave Little Merchant instructions to find more cards and Seeds of Darkness. I sneezed and rubbed my nose. I looked at Lilith and Ishtar behind me and asked who was thinking about me. Lilith smiled and said she was always thinking about me. Ishtar showed some disdain with her expression because she has a straightforward warrior personality and doesn't like Lilith's seductive way of talking. I smiled and asked Ishtar if she missed me too. Lilith joined in and teased her, saying it seemed like Ishtar didn't miss me at all. Ishtar's face turned red with anger and embarrassment. She opened her mouth but couldn't speak. I told them to stop teasing her. I didn't want things to go too far and have Ishtar pull out her blade on Lilith. Ishtar looked at me with a grievance in her voice and called my name. I said I was just joking and that we should go. Ishtar nodded and glared hard at Lilith. Lilith came over, hugged my arm tightly on purpose, and looked back at Ishtar provocatively. Ishtar didn't like it. We went inside the Fallen Heaven Sanctuary. Lilith and Ishtar stood behind me. I took out the 5 troop refresh recruitment cards and used them all. The system asked if I wanted to use them. I said yes and recruit. Black red light and pure black light rose up 5 times. 150 new Fallen type troops appeared, 75 original Sin Fallen Angels and 75 Pure Blood Fallen Angels. No new hero units this time. They all knelt and said they paid their respects to the God Emperor. I told them to rise and said Lilith and Ishtar would command them from now on. They nodded. I can't manage every single soldier myself, so I leave those tasks to Lilith and Ishtar. There will be plenty of time for that later in the territory. I used all 5 cards on the Fallen Heaven Sanctuary because it gives 10 extra units per refresh. I also told Talus about the decision, so she knows I'm being fair to everyone. Right now, I have 200 Fallen Angels and 20 Gene Forbidden Army, total 220 units. That's still very few after 2 days. Normal lords usually have over 500 by now. Without the 5 refresh cards, I would only have 70. My gold coins are now at 34,880. I need to get more troop refresh recruitment cards while the novice period lasts. After it ends, normal recruitment will cost around 1,000,000 gold per unit, which is too expensive. Money itself isn't a problem because I can get a lot of gold and origin crystals from the Void Trial every day. Tomorrow I will test if Lilith and the others can handle bronze rank creatures. The main things are time and efficiency. The rating chests from the Void Trial are very important. I want to keep getting SSS ratings because those chests only exist during the novice period and give much better rewards. Passing the trial and getting a perfect rating are different things. I'm being careful about upgrading my Lord's Heart. Even if they can clear bronze rank, I don't want to rush if it lowers the rating chest quality. Levels can be raised anytime, but these chests are only available for 30 days. That's why I hesitate even when thinking about upgrading 1 level per day. I want to keep getting SSS chests steadily every day. I woke up on the 3rd day of the newbie Lord trial. I was lying on Lilith. I sat up, still a bit groggy, and the system announced that the 4 rankings were now open. Top 10 on each would get a daily gift pack. It asked if I wanted to hide my name on the combat power ranking. I chose to hide it. I got dressed, walked out of the Fallen Heaven Sanctuary, and freshened up at the Chaos Spring. Then I checked the rankings. On combat power ranking, I was first with 100,000 combat power. Second place only had 1,000. The system calculates it from territory facilities and troops. Since I don't have any combat power buildings yet, it must be from my troops. I was glad I hid my name. In the Lord's world, it's dangerous to stand out too much because some lords use divination troops to find and attack newbies for plunder, even if it's forbidden. The chat channel was full of messages. People were shocked by the 100,000 first place. Most thought it must be a technology side lord with high-tier barracks because they can mass-produce troops if you have resources. They didn't think god-level troops were possible. I felt more relaxed after reading that. They all assumed I was a technology side lord. I checked the other rankings. Little Merchant was first on wealth ranking. First on territory ranking was someone called Great Landlord. First on Lord's Heart level was a guy named Apocalypse. My level 3 Lord's Heart didn't make top 10. Those guys were mostly level 5 already. I went to the Fallen Heaven Sanctuary. Lilith and Ishtar were waiting. I spent 30 gold coins on daily recruitment. 30 new fallen angels appeared, half original sin, half pure blood. They greeted me. I told them to rise and gave them to Lilith and Ishtar to command. Lilith answered casually. Ishtar answered seriously. Their personalities are very different. Then I went to the Supreme Protocol. Talus was already waiting. I spent 20 gold coins and recruited. 20 new Gene Forbidden Army appeared. They greeted me with fanaticism. I told them to rise and gave them to Talus. She answered crisply. After that, I called Lilith, Talus, and Ishtar over. I told them the Void Trial today might be quite difficult. They all acknowledged it. Lilith spoke leisurely. Talus and Ishtar nodded seriously. Right now, Lilith is Black Iron 9-star, Talus is Black Iron 7-star, and Ishtar is Black Iron 3-star. Ishtar leveled up thanks to the Pool of Wine, Forest of Meat, and Spirit Source Lake. Inside my territory, they are much stronger because of Valhalla Revival Armor, Crystal Palace buffs, Chaos Spring damage reduction, and other effects. The only thing I worry about is that rank suppression might affect the rating chest and stop me from getting SSS. I started the Void Trial on Abyss difficulty. The system said it began and gave me 30 seconds to prepare. Lilith, Talus, and Ishtar led their troops and appeared around my territory. Blood-colored light appeared at the edge and monsters started coming in. There were Deep One Murlocs with fish heads and human bodies, some priests, and twisted flesh aberrations. They were all bronze 1-star, tier 4. I checked their info. It was good I didn't upgrade my Lord's Heart too early. The battle started. Lilith used her war scythe and skills. Dark purple flames of original sin covered the battlefield. She and the other original sin fallen angels used their abilities. The pureblood fallen angels and Gene Forbidden Army fought as well. The Gene Forbidden Army didn't have skills yet because they hadn't fused any genes. The fighting wasn't too difficult. My troops used their full strength this time. Levels rose quickly during the fight. The ones recruited today reached Black Iron 3-star fast and kept going. After an hour, the trial ended. The system gave me SSS rating. No losses, 4,000 enemies killed. I got an SSS rank Abyss difficulty treasure chest. All my troops, including the new ones, reached bronze 1-star. Lilith helped by weakening monsters so others could finish them off and gain experience. I told Lilith, Talus, and Ishtar to go rest and wash up. They took their troops and left. I decomposed all the corpses and got 1,000 origin crystals. Then I gathered all the chests from the trial. There were 600 bronze-grade abyss treasure chests. I opened them and got a lot of advanced resource cards. Meat, wood, stone, and iron ore. 10 of each type from the ones I checked. That was the third day's void trial. I got good rewards and my troops leveled up well. I opened all those bronze-grade abyss treasure chests. I got a lot of advanced resource cards. Meat, wood, stone, and iron ore. No gold coins and no origin crystals. I now have over 1,000 advanced meat resource cards, 1,000 advanced wood, 1,000 advanced stone, and 3,000 advanced iron ore. Each one holds a huge amount of resources. They're worth a lot in total, but right now they're not that practical. Most novice lords need gold and origin crystals more than high-grade resources. Still, I kept them because I'll need them for building my territory later. Then I opened the SSS Abyss difficulty rating chest. I got a purple blueprint for a lightning tower, a purple blueprint for a wind-chasing bow, a Tier 1 barracks called Green Lizard Nest, and a unique wonder called Tower of Eternity. I looked at the lightning tower blueprint. It's a purple-grade defense building that can be built repeatedly. I thought about it, but decided not to learn it for now. It would cost too many resources to build and upgrade, and if my troops can't handle invasions, towers probably won't help enough. I stored it. The wind-chasing bow blueprint is purple-grade and can be used by artisan-type troops. It's valuable because it can bring in steady resources once crafted, but I don't have any artisan troops yet, and it needs a lot of materials. I stored it too. I looked at the Green Lizard Nest. It's a Tier 1 barracks that can recruit different types of green lizards. I upgraded it right away. It evolved into a god-grade barracks called the Primordial Dragon Nest. The new barracks can recruit Primordial Dragon troops. I've never heard of them before. I upgraded it to level 2. Now it can recruit 20 per day, but each one costs 1,000,000 gold coins plus other materials for further upgrades. That's what I got from the third day's void trial. I have a new god-grade barracks now. I placed the Primordial Dragon Nest right next to the Fallen Heaven Sanctuary. A golden palace appeared in my territory. Lilith, Ishtar, and Talus noticed it and came over. I wasn't surprised. The territory isn't that big. I told them to come meet their new partner. They followed me inside the Golden Hall. There was a big dragon statue in the center. I spent 20 gold coins on daily recruitment. Crimson light appeared and 20 dragons materialized. The leader was a big one, over 5 meters long, with 8 wings and golden patterns on her black scales. The other 19 were smaller, with only 2 wings. The leader, Pangelia, greeted me as God King. The rest prostrated themselves. I told them to rise. I checked Pangelia's attributes. She's a god-level hero unit, apocalyptic ultimate dragon. She has the power of ruin, ruinous dragon breath, and immunity to all elemental damage. Her potential is creation level. The other dragons are primordial black gold dragons, also god level with the power of ruin. Their potential is supreme god. I told Pangelia she would command the Black Gold Dragon Legion. I introduced her to Lilith, Ishtar, and Talus. Then I told the 3 of them to take Pangelia and the new dragons to meet the rest of the troops and get acquainted. Now I have troops from all 3 major factions under me. Chaos from Fallen Heaven Sanctuary, Order from Supreme Protocol, and Primordial from the Primordial Dragon Nest. Most lords can't make different factions coexist peacefully. While I was about to check the last item from the chest, Little Merchant sent me a private message asking if I wanted a barracks. I checked my resources and replied to Little Merchant, asking what kind of barracks it was and the price. She said it was a consignment. It was a Tier 3 barracks called Crucifix Nun, Order Faction. The owner wanted a Tier 3 Chaos Faction barracks of equal value, or blueprints, secret treasures, or wonders with long-term value. I told her the price was too high. I didn't have those things. She asked what I could offer instead. I offered 5 advanced meat resource cards and 1,000 origin crystals. After a while, she came back and said the seller thought it was too little. He wanted 10 advanced meat resource cards and 2,000 origin crystals as his bottom line. I did the math. It was about 3,000 origin crystals total. That wasn't bad for a Tier 3 barracks during the novice period, so I agreed. We did the trade. I got the Nun's Church barracks. I upgraded it right away. It became the Holy Sanctuary, a Divine Grade Order faction barracks. I upgraded it again to level 2. Now it can recruit 20 units per day at a cost of 1,000,000 gold each. I placed the Holy Sanctuary next to the Supreme Protocol. A pure white church appeared in my territory. Lilith, Ishtar, and Talus came over immediately. Lilith looked at the new church with clear hostility in her eyes. She had never shown that much hostility even when the Supreme Protocol appeared. I told her they're all companions. She said she would obey me, but it might be hard for the Holy Angel troops that could be recruited later. I understood what she meant. I felt a bit helpless, but as long as they don't fight each other and don't hold me back, it's fine. Competition between them is okay. I walked into the Holy Sanctuary. Lilith, Ishtar, and Talus followed me inside. Pangelia waited outside because she's too big. Inside there was an 18-winged angel statue holding a war sword. Lilith looked at it with an amused expression. Ishtar looked disdainful. Talus stayed expressionless as usual. I went to the Holy Sanctuary and spent 20 gold coins on daily recruitment. Holy light filled the hall with hymns playing. 20 holy angels appeared. They all wore silver-white armor with white wings and golden hair. They knelt and greeted me as master. Their leader was Keisha. The moment they appeared, Ishtar pulled out her blade and Lilith looked unhappy. Keisha also summoned her sword. I told them to stop immediately. They put their weapons away. I checked Keisha's attributes. She's a god-level holy angel hero unit with power of holy order and high potential. The other 19 are regular holy angels with judgment skills against evil. I introduced Lilith and Ishtar to her and mentioned Talus and Pangelia outside. I told everyone I didn't want them fighting each other. They are all people I trust. Keisha knelt and said she would follow my will. Lilith smiled and agreed. Ishtar nodded. I told Lilith, Ishtar, and Talus to take Keisha and introduce her to the others. I said no trouble, and that tonight we would hold a banquet to welcome both Pangelia and Keisha. They left to do that. Now I have 4 barracks: Fallen Heaven Sanctuary, Supreme Protocol, Primordial Dragon Nest, and Holy Sanctuary. My troops are split into Fallen Angels, Holy Angels, Dragons, and Gene Forbidden Army. The Gene Forbidden Army is currently the weakest. I need to move up the plan for Talus and the others to fuse genes. After that, I messaged Little Merchant and asked her to keep an eye out for Seeds of Chaos and Seeds of Holiness, same as the other seeds. She said she would find them in a few days. While all this was happening, the chat channel went crazy. My combat power on the ranking jumped from 100,000 to 200,000. Everyone was shocked, and most of them assumed I had a high-tier technology side barracks that lets me mass-produce equipment. They couldn't imagine it was just from recruiting new troops. I walked out of the Holy Sanctuary. I didn't pay much attention to the chat channel. Even if I saw the storm there, it wouldn't matter. I had hidden my name on the combat power ranking so no one could find me. I looked around my territory. The Gene Forbidden Army were sitting by the Spirit Source Lake talking. The original Sin Fallen Angels and Pure Blood Fallen Angels were playing in the water. The primordial black gold dragons were jumping into the lake and splashing around. Talus sat quietly by the lake with Pangelia next to her. Ishtar walked together with Keisha. Lilith lay lazily by the lakeside. Everything looked peaceful. I took out the unique wonder, the Tower of Eternity. It had one trait called Eternal Light. This trait can strengthen the physical bodies of my troops over time and help them condense an eternal and immortal divine body. I activated it. The golden tower turned into a golden sun that hung in the sky above my territory, then faded into the void. Now the eternal light is constantly working on all my troops. After that, I went over to Lilith, leaned against her, and she started massaging me. At the same time, elsewhere, the guy called One Leaf Knows Autumn, Yeshu, was looking at the combat power ranking. He saw my combat power had jumped to 200,000. He thought I was using a high-tier technology side barracks and cooperating with Little Merchant, which let us develop fast. He didn't make it into the top 500. He decided to play it safe for the next 4 days, build up his troops, and try hard when the Dimensional Rift opens on the 7th day. Because Little Merchant blacklisted him, it became harder for him to trade resources. He had to sell some things at a loss. He knew that the novice period is the best time for regular lords to develop. After it ends, second-generation lords with family resources will start catching up fast. That's why many people push hard now, even if they have to sell things cheap. I woke up from an afternoon nap. I opened the Lord's Heart panel and spent 300 Origin Crystals to upgrade it to level 4. The system gave me 3 trait options, 2 red ones and 1 gold one. The first red trait was Age of Magic Decline. It would turn my territory into a place where no supernatural powers work and destroy all supernatural objects. I rejected that immediately because it doesn't suit me. The second red trait was Infinite Evolution. It lets my troops break through their potential limits and grow without any fixed ceiling. The gold trait was Mechanical Ascension, which would convert all my troops into technology-side troops. I didn't want that either. I chose Infinite Evolution and bound it. This trait is useful because it removes the potential cap on all my troops. It also works well with the Tower of Eternity I got earlier. After the upgrade, I had 4,600 Origin Crystals left. I plan to keep upgrading 1 level per day. I still need to save resources for buying materials and upgrading the barracks later. Only Pangelia was next to me. I asked why she wasn't playing with the others. She said she would rather stay by my side. I patted her head. The sky was getting dark, so I went to the Pool of Wine and Forest of Meat for the banquet to welcome Pangelia and Keisha. There was unlimited black iron and bronze-grade food and wine. Lilith and Keisha came with me. The troops were eating meat, drinking, and enjoying themselves. The black gold dragons ate a lot. The Gene Forbidden Army and Holy Angels drank together, and the Fallen Angels performed. I drank quite a bit and eventually fell asleep. Early the next morning, on the 4th day, the system woke me up. I had been number 1 on the combat power ranking for 1 day, so I received a combat power gift pack. I crawled out from the pile of women, washed up at the Chaos Spring, and checked my storage. The gift pack was there. I looked at my reflection in the Chaos Spring. My face was pale and I looked exhausted. I thought to myself that the wine and everything else had really done a number on me. I decided right then that I would quit drinking from that day on. I drank several mouthfuls of water from the Chaos Spring. It made my body feel alive again. I felt much better. Then I opened the Combat Power gift pack I got for being first place. I received 1,000 gold coins, 100 origin crystals, 1 troop refresh recruitment card, and 1 barracks upgrade card. The barracks upgrade card is quite valuable for high-level barracks like mine. I put the cards away for now. I have 4 barracks, so I need to decide later which one to use them on. I checked my private messages. Little Merchant had sent one last night saying she found the Seed of Technology for 10,000 gold coins. I replied right away, and we did the trade. I got the Seed of Technology. I started the daily recruitments. First, I went to the Fallen Heaven Sanctuary. Lilith and Ishtar were already waiting. I spent 30 gold coins and recruited. 30 new fallen angels appeared, some original sin, some pure blood. They knelt and greeted me. I told them to rise and left them to Lilith and Ishtar. Next, I went to the Primordial Dragon Nest. Pangelia was waiting there. I spent 20 gold coins and recruited. 20 new primordial black gold dragons appeared. They were lively and a bit mischievous, but they calmed down under Pangelia's presence. I left them to her. Then I went to the Supreme Protocol. Talus was already waiting. I used the Seed of Technology, 1,000 origin crystals, and 10,000 gold coins to upgrade it to level 3. It unlocked a new aura called Light of Technology. Now it can recruit 30 units per day. The upgrade cost was really high. Even for level 3, it's expensive. If I want to upgrade further, it will cost even more. I finished checking the Supreme Protocol after the upgrade. It got a new aura called Light of Technology. It increases research speed and technological production speed by 100% each. That's very useful for the Gene Forbidden Army. I went inside and spent 30 gold coins on daily recruitment. 30 new Gene Forbidden Army soldiers appeared. I left them to Talus. Next, I went to the Holy Sanctuary. Keisha was waiting. I spent 20 gold coins and recruited. 20 new Holy Angels appeared. I left them to Keisha. After all the daily recruitments, I checked my resources. I had 3,600 origin crystals and 15,690 gold coins left. I'm running low. I need today's void trial to give me more gold and crystals. Otherwise, I might have to sell some resource cards. Right now, my total troops are 260 fallen angels, 70 Gene Forbidden Army, 40 dragons, and 40 holy angels. It's still not many. A real legion needs at least 10,000 units, so I'm far from that. I had breakfast at the Pool of Wine and Forest of Meat, then gathered everyone. Lilith, Talus, Ishtar, Pangelia, and Keisha were all there with their troops. I told them the void trial was about to start. They got into position, Lilith and the original Sin-Fallen Angels in front, Talus and Gene Forbidden Army on the left, Ishtar and Pureblood Fallen Angels on the right, with Pangelia's dragons and Keisha's holy angels in the back. I started the void trial on Abyss difficulty. Dark red mist appeared at the edge of the territory, and a lot of aberrants and deep ones came in. Most of them were bronze 3-star to 5-star. I sat and watched. I wasn't worried. Pangelia used her ruinous dragon breath from the sky, and the other dragons followed. The holy angels used their holy judgment skills. The new troops leveled up fast. While the battle was going on, I thought about upgrading my territory. It's still at the starting level. Now that I have several hundred troops, including big dragons, the space is getting too small. I decided to upgrade it after this void trial ends. I didn't upgrade earlier because a bigger territory would be harder to defend during the trials with my current troop numbers. There would be too many gaps. I finished the void trial. The system gave me SSS rating again. No losses, 8,000 enemies killed. I got an SSS rank Abyss difficulty rating treasure chest. This time there were twice as many monsters as yesterday, all bronze 3-star to 5-star. The new troops reached bronze 1-star, but Lilith and the others who were already there didn't level up much. We used most of the experience on the newer ones. That's normal when I want the fresh troops to catch up. I decomposed all the corpses and got 2,000 origin crystals. Then I opened the 1,000 bronze grade Abyss treasure chests. I got a lot of advanced and high grade resource cards. 2,000 each of meat, wood, stone, iron ore, and copper ore. They're valuable for building later, especially for technology side troops. But right now, I still need gold and origin crystals more. I opened the SSS rating chest. I got 1 troop refresh recruitment card, 1 barracks upgrade card, 1,000 origin crystals, 10,000 gold coins, and a Lord's exclusive unique relic called God King's Treasury. The relic has 3 traits: copy, elevate, and projection. It can copy relics, weapons, or equipment I touch, except unique grade, raise their grade by 1, except unique, and project them with the original traits. I soulbound it immediately. This relic is very useful. I wondered if I could copy the artifacts that Lilith and the others have. I called Lilith over. She came down from the sky right away. She summoned her 7 Sins war scythe. I touched it with my hand, trying to copy it with the God King's treasury. A strong wave of greed, lust, and malice hit me hard. Lilith quickly took the scythe back, and I recovered. She told me it was her exclusive weapon filled with the power of the 7 Sins, so I couldn't copy it. I told Lilith to bring one fallen angel from each of the 7 original sins. When they came, I had them show their weapons and copied all 7. Pride Sword, Greed Dagger, Lust Whip, Envy Blade, Gluttony Hammer, Wrath Axe, and Sloth Scythe. I could copy them, but I couldn't upgrade them. I stored the copies in the God King's treasury. After that, I copied the Primal Dark Blade from the Pureblood Fallen Angels and the Sword of Judgment from the Holy Angels. I haven't copied the Gene Forbidden Army weapons yet because they haven't fused genes. I called Talus over and told her it was time for her and the Gene Forbidden Army to fuse genes. She said she only needed a single drop of blood from each hero unit, and she could pass the genes to the rest of her troops herself. I called Lilith, Ishtar, Pangilia, and Keisha. I explained that Talus was special and needed their blood to show her real strength. They all agreed without hesitation. Each of them gave 1 drop of blood, Lilith's deep purple, Ishtar's pure black, Keisha's holy white, and Pangilia's dark red with destructive power. Talus stepped forward, activated her void engine, and absorbed all 4 drops. Her body glowed with mixed colors. She told me she needed to enter a deep slumber to analyze the genes and evolve. Then she turned into a giant cocoon, right there. The cocoon had 4 symbols on it, 1 for each of their powers. I looked at Talus inside the cocoon and didn't think too much about it. I told Lilith and the others to go do their own things because I had some stuff to handle. They left, but they all glanced at the cocoon first. They could feel their own power coming from her. After they left, I thought about the 2 cards I got. The Troop Refresh Recruitment card and the Barracks Upgrade card. I was reluctant to use them right now. Using the Refresh card on my level 3 barracks felt wasteful with so few of them, and using the Upgrade card early also seemed like a waste since upgrades get harder later. But waiting also meant slower troop growth. I felt conflicted because my total numbers are still too low. In the end, I decided to wait a bit longer. Then I took out 1 Advanced Wood Resource card and 1 Advanced Stone Resource card and upgraded my territory. I upgraded it twice, first to level 2, then to level 3. Now my territory, Supreme Heaven, has a diameter of 1,200 meters. That should be enough for the next few days, especially with the big dragons needing space. After that, I went to the Spirit Source Lake. One of the Lust-Fallen Angels invited me to join them. I took off my clothes and jumped in. A bunch of them surrounded me. We played in the water, ate roasted meat, and drank wine that they brought over. I enjoyed myself for the rest of the morning. Later, a bright light appeared in the territory. I went over and saw Talus coming out of the cocoon. Lilith, Ishtar, Pangilia, Keisha, and all the Gene Forbidden Army were already waiting there. Talus finished her gene fusion. She reached Bronze 1 star and got several new talents and skills. Lord of Genes, Void Engine, and 5 different forms. Original Sin form, Fallen Heaven form, Holy form, Destruction form, and Ultimate form. She also has a new artifact called Final Armament. Her potential jumped a lot, and now has no upper limit because of my infinite evolution trait. I watched as Talus finished her evolution and opened her eyes. She knelt in front of me and called me Emperor with complete devotion. I told her to rise. I asked her to show the abilities she had gained. She agreed. First, she used Original Sin armament. Black-red mist covered her, and when it cleared, she looked very different. Black-red hair, seductive presence, armored suit with the symbols of the 7 deadly sins, and a war scythe in her hand. She said in this form she could use the power of Original Sin, but only borrowing it compared to Lilith. Then she showed her Fallen Angel form, Holy Angel form, and Giant Dragon form. Each form gave her different powers, matching the genes she took. Finally, I asked to see her ultimate form. A bright pillar of light surrounded her. When it faded, she looked mostly the same, but more divine. She had longer white hair, golden eyes, powers of holy, primordial darkness, and Original Sin flowing around her, and 8 illusory wings. The ground cracked under her power. Lilith and the others looked at her seriously. They now saw her as an equal. I told her to stop. She returned to her normal, white-haired, expressionless appearance. I told her that from now on, the development of the Gene Legion was her responsibility. She accepted with full loyalty and went to gather her troops. After that, I told everyone else to go enjoy themselves. I went to the Spirit Source Lake. A fallen angel called me over, so I took off my clothes and jumped in. I had a fallen angel on one side and a holy angel on the other. One of the Original Sin fallen angels brought me wine and roasted meat. While I was relaxing in the lake, I upgraded my Lord's Heart. I spent 400 origin crystals and it reached level 5. The system gave me 3 new red traits to choose from: Ragnarok, God-slaying power, and Forbidden Land. Ragnarok would make my territory a place where any god who enters dies, but it would also prevent me and my troops from ever achieving godhood. I rejected it immediately. I don't want to cut off my own path to becoming a god. I picked God-slaying power. It gives all my troops a special power that has a strong restraining effect on gods and divinity. The moment I bound it, all my troops felt something new. Lilith and the others noticed it too. They realized they now had this god-slaying power. I kept enjoying myself with the fallen angels and holy angels by the lake for the rest of the day. When night came, I went to the Supreme Protocol. Talus was already there, and a lot of big cocoons were standing in the hall where the gene-forbidden army was evolving. I walked up to Talus. She greeted me. I told her she worked hard. She said it was her duty. I asked what genes the gene-forbidden army chose. She said they used Pangilia's genes as the main one, and then added Ishtar's and Keisha's genes. I was a bit surprised. I thought they would pick Lilith's genes, but they went with Ishtar and Keisha instead. I asked Talus why she chose those particular genes for the gene-forbidden army. She explained that Pangilia's genes strengthen their physical bodies the most, Ishtar's genes let them master darkness, and Keisha's genes let them master light. Using Pangilia's as the core gives the best overall result. Lilith's genes are powerful but too complex for the gene-forbidden army. I nodded. I was only asking out of curiosity. I don't plan to interfere. I leave these things to her. Then the light pillars rose, and the giant cocoons started breaking open. Tall figures stepped out. The Gene-Forbidden Army, now called Light and Dark Dragon Gene-Forbidden Army, all knelt on one knee and greeted me. I checked their new attributes. They had gained several new skills: Light Angel Armament, Dark Angel Armament, Dragon Armament, and Gene Liberation Mode. Their potential is very high. I told them to rise and left the whole group to Talus. On the morning of the 5th day, I woke up in the villa at the Pool of Wine and Forest of Meat, surrounded by fallen angels, holy angels, and original sin fallen angels. I crawled out from between them, stretched, and walked outside. I felt hollowed out again, so I grabbed my waist and decided that starting today I would quit drinking. I went straight to the Chaos Spring, drank several big mouthfuls, and felt refreshed. I started the daily recruitment. I went to the Fallen Heaven Sanctuary first. Lilith and Ishtar were already waiting. I spent 30 gold coins and recruited. New Original Sin and Pureblood Fallen Angels appeared. I left them to Lilith and Ishtar. Then I went to the Supreme Protocol. Talus was waiting at the entrance. I recruited there too. After that I went to the Primordial Dragon Nest and finally the Holy Sanctuary. I finished all 4 barracks in under 10 minutes. No new hero units this time. After recruitment I had 290 Original Sin Fallen Angels, 100 Gene Forbidden Army, 60 dragons, and 60 Holy Angels. Over 500 troops total. After breakfast, I called Lilith, Ishtar, Talus, Pangilia, and Keisha together. I told them the Void Trial was about to begin and to follow the usual plan of letting the newer troops level up first. They took their positions. I started the Void Trial on Abyss difficulty. Black mist appeared around the territory and new monsters came out. Flesh abominations. They had no skin, exposed muscles, steel-like claws, and constantly writhing flesh. They were Bronze 5-star to 8-star, Tier 5. I watched the flesh abominations fighting my troops. They were Tier 5, from Bronze 5-star to 8-star. I figured I could upgrade my Lord's Heart one more time at most. Before Lilith and the others reach Bronze 9-star, any further upgrades would bring Silver-grade monsters, which would be too hard. I decided to stay stable. Getting SSS rating chests every day is more important right now. The battle was completely one-sided. My troops slaughtered the monsters. They held back a bit, only to let the new recruits get the last hits and level up. I sat on the grass away from the fighting and opened today's Combat Power gift pack. I got 1,000 gold coins, 100 origin crystals, and another barracks upgrade card. Now I have 3 of them. Little Merchant sent me a message earlier saying she found the Seed of Chaos and asking if I wanted a troop refresh recruitment card. I didn't reply yet because I wanted to see how many resources I'd get from this trial first. I drank some black iron grade wheat fruit juice while waiting. After an hour, the trial ended. All my troops reached Bronze 1-star, and Lilith and the others reached Bronze 2-star. The system gave me SSS rating again. 10,000 enemies killed. I decomposed all the corpses and got 3,000 origin crystals. Then I gathered and opened the 3,000 bronze-grade Abyss treasure chests. I got a lot of resources: advanced meat, high-grade iron ore, high-grade copper ore, primary fire elemental crystals, primary water elemental crystals, primary mithril, and more. 5,000 cards of each type. These are pretty good resources. Finally, I opened the SSS rating chest. I got 5 rare-grade seeds: Seed of Darkness, Seed of Chaos, Seed of Holiness, Seed of Technology, and Seed of Elements. I also got 1 more barracks upgrade card, 1 troop refresh recruitment card, and a unique wonder called Dimensional Gate. Now I have all 5 seeds, so I can upgrade both the Primordial Dragon Nest and the Holy Sanctuary.